Brother, it's an urgent prayer. It's an urgent prayer. Most of us don't get in a hurry to pray. And I know the reason why. Because I'm guilty. It goes back to last week where we took time to talk about the difference between faith and fear. Some of us think about praying, but we don't pray because we don't feel it. Because we're not feeling it, we procrastinate and put it off. Say, I'll get to it later today. And sometimes because we're not feeling it, the devil uses that to keep us from praying all day long. And then we have another feeling. We have a feeling we're sorry that we didn't follow through when we had time to do it. Prayer should be urgent. In order for it to be urgent, it has to be priority. Sometimes a person, there are people who are of the mind, I want to be saved, and I want to be saved at some point. But here's the problem. They have not decided where that point is. Don't have a deadline. Don't have an appointment that they've made with God. They just know what they want to do, but not today. Young man may say, I want Jesus to save me when I get old. When I have seen a little more of life. We need to remember this. That's a fallacy. For if a person says, I want to get saved when I get older, but I want to see a little more of life, they're fooling themselves. For they're not going to see a little more life, they're going to see a great more of death. For there is truly no real life in this life. For life in this life is always dying. For the freshest we will ever be is when we are a baby. For we are like a sea battery that's brand new. As soon as it starts being used, as soon as it starts living, it starts dying. And you never captivate as much life in it ever again. So the things that are happening to us in our faces, in our bodies, our feelings, are because life is really not life, but it's really death. Person's a fool who keeps putting his business off with God. You see, such a one is too busy to seek the Lord, but here's the problem. Death is seeking us. Though we may be too busy to seek God, death will seek us and collect us, watch this, without a warning. Yeah, you may know where you were born, but you don't know where you're going to die. Death will collect us. We may be busy and it does not matter. Even cell phones get busy sometimes. For you may call somebody and you can't get through it. It's often because they are dialing somebody while you're dialing them. But death comes without good manners. Death comes without invitation. And when he comes, he doesn't wait and say, well, I'll wait till you're not busy. He says, I'm here and it's time to go. Such a person who is busy and not prepared, busy and or not prepared, must go unprepared. You see, there are some examples in the Bible about procrastination. Lot almost lost his life because he procrastinated. In the book of Genesis, Genesis 19 and 16, Lot was procrastinating. The angels had told him, look, get your stuff together, get your family together, and get out. But they were taking too long. The angels picked him up and put him on the outside of town and said, don't look back. Jesus frowned on folk who procrastinated, don't make urgency his business, their priority. For some folks say, well, Lord, I'm coming, but let me go do this first, and let me do that first, here's what Jesus' response to that was. He said, let the dead bury the dead. Then also we have in the book of Acts 24 and 25, just as every preacher stands today, and often in many churches there's somebody sitting there checking the church out, checking the preacher out, checking the choir out, checking out everybody but themselves. They'll check you out until that becomes their priority. And there was a government official who was checking Paul out while he was preaching and said, not today, come on another occasion and I'll give it some consideration. Those who think too much of themselves have to give that which is holy and appointed time for an audience when they think too much of themselves. But yet they are dying all the time. There's a story that I've come to share with you about a family who moved in town. They were new in this new community, and so there was a pastor and two brothers who went to visit them. Kind of remind me of Brother Scriven Bishop himself. And they invited this man and his family to church. And the man said to them, well, I'll come when I get my business straightened out. And so it was that several months passed and the man had not shown up to church. So the pastor made another visit to the brother, and upon the visit he extended the invitation again to the man, and the man said, I'll be there when I get my business straightened out. But the word came that a few weeks later the man died. And it so was befitting that we have this story here today, that guess what? That the widow asked the pastor that the funeral be held at the church. In time, as people talk about dead folks, somebody in the church asked the pastor, was the man saved? And the pastor said this, he says, well, I can't speak about that, for he never came to this church. All I know is that he was a man of his word. For he said that when I get straightened out, I'll come to the church. And so he was at the church, laid out, straight out, but too late. For he showed up, as you know, at his own funeral. Somebody needs to understand that vices have slain their thousands. Pride has slain their 10,000s. But procrastination has slain its hundreds of thousands. And the devil is satisfied that above living like a hoodlum, above living like a crook, above living like we don't believe in God, whatever you are, if you just put it off till tomorrow, the devil will be satisfied. Yeah. As I look around today, we got to do a better job. Well, there's nobody but maybe one or two here today who need to hear this message, and they don't need to put it off yet, not one more day. For you don't know what tomorrow holds. Yeah, you got to come while you got a chance. Well, yes, you could find yourself in a situation just as we were in this prayer meeting on Wednesday night. Could have been us. But there was a prayer meeting in South Carolina, and folk didn't come to church to die. Nobody goes nowhere to die. But I tell you what, wherever you go, you better be ready to die. And the only way you're going to be ready, you got to be prepared. Whether you be young, whether you be old, whether you be knowledgeable, unknowledgeable, male or female, get prepared. You got to switch from the P of procrastination and switch to the pre of unprepared. Well, I got good news for you. You ain't got to want to die. Just be prepared. You ain't got to like dying. Just be prepared. You don't have to be friends with the devil and death. Just be prepared. When you go to bed tonight, you don't know what's going to happen in the morning, but be prepared. When you get ready to go to work in the morning, you don't know what the day going to be, just but be prepared. Know the church is over. And when you get prepared, you can say, the Lord been good to me. He spared my life. I wasn't fit to live. Wasn't ready to die. this. Hard times. I had so many hard times, but I'm still here. Oh, loneliness. I've had my share of loneliness, but I'm still here. Still here. Trouble. I've had my share of trouble, but I'm still here. Ooh, bruises. I've taken my lumps and bruises, but I'm still here. Through it all, I made it through another day's journey. God kept me here. Oh, I made it another day. It was because of the Lord. Oh, I made it another day's journey. Oh, thank you, Lord.